And now the one gentleman that we do have in the group here, I'm going to welcome him. I think he's ready. Yep, there he is. Hi, Sifu. I'm going to read his bio. Thank you, ladies. Have a great day. I'm going to put, oops, that's not working. Okay, let me try this again. Oh, technology, you gotta love it. Hi, Sifu, how are you?
Exceptional, getting better every day. You don't have to read my bio.
You don't want me to? Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
If you want to talk about yourself and tell us what an
yeah.
amazing, I know you have, all I know about you is that you have this really amazing, big, like 10,000 square foot dojo. I don't know what else to
Mhm.
call it. Is that right? In New
Yeah,
York.
that's correct.
So
That's correct.
I want you to tell everyone where it is so they can go there.
We will. We will. So, Marianne, first, I want to thank you for the opportunity to share my story and inspiration with others. I want to help people become great. That is my mission in life. So, I want to take you through
For coming.
when I was young, right? So, imagine for a moment that everything familiar to you vanished and you found yourself in an entirely new world just days before your eighth birthday. Yeah, that was me. Days before my eighth birthday, my whole world changed. And that happened to me, but that's only a tiny little part of my story. I think I've lived 20 lives, maybe longer. Um, so the thrill of adventure was quickly overshadowed by the harsh realities I faced. If you remember that movie, Coming to America, unlike Prince Akeem, you may recall it was Eddie Murphy who played in that movie. I didn't have the advantage of speaking English. So arriving in America was exhilarating. I was super excited, but it faded really, really fast. And it was replaced by the realization that I was surrounded by a language I did not understand. I immigrated from Colombia, South America, to New York. The funny thing, as an 8 year old, I thought everyone in the world spoke Spanish. Boy, was I wrong. Was I wrong? I had assumed that everyone would speak Spanish in America. That's why I came to, right? It hit me hard and fast that I was, in fact, a foreigner with no voice. Can you imagine yourself in my situation? I would love to know in the chat what language you grew up speaking. Go ahead, let us know what language did you grow up speaking? Because I was foolish to think that everyone spoke my language, which was Spanish. So when I got here, my parents enrolled me in a school that was more than 2 miles away from my home. And my dad showed me once how to get there. Once. That was it. That's all I had. One time where I was shown how to get to school. Now, I didn't know I could take the bus, and neither did my dad. Imagine that. I could have taken the bus. The bus could have picked me up at home. But my dad, being a foreigner himself, didn't realize that all he had to do was tell the school, can you pick up my son from the house? So it didn't matter the weather. I went to school, whether it was raining, snowing, sleet, it didn't matter. And I have so many stories that I can share with you on those adventures, but I will leave those for another day. The long walk was just the least of my troubles. Once at school, I felt like an alien in a strange land, a foreigner, if you will, without a voice. Not understanding the language, I can sense people were talking about me, especially when those whispers were followed by strikes. People were hitting me from behind, throwing things at me. Bullying was an unfortunate reality back then and even more pervasive than it seems today. Here's the crazy thing. I wore an eye patch due to an earlier accident that almost cost me my vision. That patch made me an easy target. People were laughing at me, calling me all kinds of different names. I didn't even know what they were saying because I didn't understand. So that's a little portion of my story. So let me introduce myself properly. My name is Rafael, best known as Sifu Rafael. I realized that I needed to differentiate myself from others who may share my first name. You see, the name Sifu means teacher in Chinese martial arts, which I have been practicing for the last 49 years. A lot of people call me master. I don't, I don't feel like I'm a master. I think once I'm gone, maybe they can call me that. My commitment to continual growth keeps me a student first. I see myself as a student, not as a master. So learning has impacted every aspect of my life. Early on, I knew that to become proficient in in anything, I had to put time and effort to master it. I have no quit attitude. Once I decided to go after something, I was like a pit bull. I mean, I don't let go until I succeed. So failure is what keeps me going. No matter how many times I've failed, I realized that stopping would be the real failure. Marianne, so consider all the people that you're going to have and today and tomorrow. Everyone has known adversity. And I think when we can stand back up after we have fallen, I think that speaks volumes. Because if you talk to somebody who's never known adversity, they don't know. They don't have an idea. So as a child, navigating the school's hallways, I was unable to grasp what was being said around me. I faced a profound challenge, the language barrier. Yet, amid the isolation and adversity, something remarkable happened. I discovered that communication has many facets that can either make or break our connections, our opportunities, and a host of other social and personal attributes. Early on, I realized that the most crucial communication was the one where I spoke to the only person that mattered. That was me. That was myself. I mattered. I mattered. Therefore, I needed to listen to me. Sometimes I was so scared and felt very alone. But I didn't know how to quit, not on myself, nor on my situation. No matter how hard it got, the words I told myself kept me going. They allowed me to fight for my seat at the table of life. It could have been easy to give up and blame my circumstance. Instead, I learned, I learned, and I learned, and I kept learning that the experiences I was having, that I could continue no matter what, and put those pieces together and truly understand and eventually speak the language of my new world, of America. Yes, I came from South America and now I'm living in North America, a whole different world, entirely a different world. I always believe that I live in my world and you live in your world, and every single individual in this world lives in their own little bubble of a world. But we share this world together. So I need to make my world beautiful. bright, impactful, so I can share in the world that we live together in. So overcoming those barriers was not a single act, but a persistent effort, day in and day out. So let's fast forward to my current time, right? What I stand for today is having overcome all of those challenges. Those challenges don't define me. It's my actions that I've taken that define me. So I made them my strengths. I've established a communication school dedicated to helping others harness the power of effective communication, the superpower that became my sanctuary and, if you will, my sword. Yes, I'm a martial artist. I'm going to say sword, right? Because I can wield that. And one of the things, if you know anything about martial arts, in Chinese martial arts, we call the sword like a tiger. It bares its teeth at the right time. So the reason I'm telling you my story of having no voice and finally finding one is to impact you with the idea that communication is the one and most important tool we have. Yet many of us don't use it properly. Effective communication can transform your personal and your professional life in ways you might never have imagined. Through my journey, I've come to appreciate the immense power of this tool we call communication, your voice and how we use it, and how it can build bridges where there were none before. Currently, and I said this before, I am so passionate about communication that I started a speaking school. It's called Speaking Prowess. That's the name of the school here in New York. It's a brick and mortar location. We also have an online platform. It's called speakingprowess.com. At Speaking Prowess, we focus on harnessing the full potential of effective communication. Our next course is going to be a 10-week workshop, which starts Saturday, January. Listen to me, I'm going ahead of time. June 22nd. It's on leadership and communication, and it's designed to transform your communication skills and leadership potential. So my mission for coming on here, and Marianne, thank you for allowing me to come on here, is to enhance everyone's journey so that you may start, no matter where you are, no matter what hardships you've had in your life, that you may come on and you may realize that you have it in you to become the best version of you. But what do we do with these experiences? They do define our ultimate success, don't they? Through effective communication, we can navigate our paths efficiently and leave a mark on every interaction. Every interaction we have. Think about this for a moment. Effective communication is a multifaceted, and it truly involves several key skills that we should use when communicating. Let's consider your voice, your pitch, your pace. It can greatly influence how your message is received. A powerful voice can communicate and command attention, convey confidence, and express sincerity. It can give direction. It can help someone have a better understanding of even your message. But we have to learn how to deliver that message properly. So let's talk about body language for a second. A lot of times people get on a stage and they don't know how to use their body. They're pacing back and forth. Their hands are going crazy. But when we use our God-given talent and we're passionate about something, we need to understand that our body language can, in a nonverbal way, give people clues about the importance of our message. It can help you with your posture. Think about the gestures that we use, and the movement can communicate a couple of things. One, I think the biggest thing that we can do when we communicate with someone is trust. How open are we? And also, how engaging can we be with either, if it's a one-on-one, one-to-many, if you're on a stage, how we're communicating with our audience is huge. Our body language will express that as well. The other one that we have to also consider is our hand gestures. So a lot of people, they hide their hands, they put them behind, they cross their arms. That's a lot of body language. And if you see somebody doing this, sometimes it means they want to take over the world. But when we use our hands, right? When we use our hands, think about the messages that we can deliver with our hands. We can tell a story from small to big. We can point to ourselves. We can talk about a timeline from this position, when I was a little kid to when I was a teenager. So you're expressing a timeline, and you can do that with your hands. So these can emphasize different points. It can illustrate ideas, and they can convey enthusiasm and even conviction. Let's talk about our facial expressions, right? Your face has so many muscles. So your face sometimes for a lot of people, yeah, thank you, Marianne. So yeah, you can have a fish face, you can have like you see somebody talk like this and you can barely see their mouth move. What is going on? What you need to express your face is a beautiful, beautiful thing. We need to be alive. When we communicate a message to somebody, when we whisper, I had somebody recently tell me something so deep, but I couldn't hear them. And their face kind of got smaller, their voice got smaller. I literally 3 times, so I'm using my hand expression to let you know how many times. 3 times I had to say, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Could you say it again? And finally, I actually had to get closer to them so I can hear them. And they actually can speak louder, but they thought because they wanted to share something private that no one in the world can hear it. Meanwhile, it was just us. So that was kind of funny to me. So your face, your hands, your voice, they all reflect on how we communicate. So think about the emotions in your face. And one of the things I do to kids, and it's very funny when I do it. Like if I see a kid with a sad face, like they're like they're mad or sad, you know what I do? I flip them. I literally pick them up and I turn them upside down. And I said, look, you're smiling. And because I turned their frown upside down, what do they do? They actually start smiling again. So I turn them back up and they're like, oh, you didn't pick me up. I said, but you're smiling. And so it changes when we interrupt somebody and we let them know that they're amazing, that they don't have to be dreadful or think negative. We have one life. Let's enjoy as much as we can, right? So the emotions, the reactions that we use with our face are very, very deep. And so your communication is going to be dead on if you know how to use all of the skills that we have, the gifts. God, thank you for these gifts. Listen, I know there's a lot of people who are going to go out there and they go, man, that guy Rafael, that Sifu Rafael, he's ugly. And that's okay. Because guess what? When I look in the mirror, I see a beautiful person. And I don't care what anybody else says because I live with me no matter where I go. Boom, there I am. There I am. So Each of these elements can enhance your effective communication and help you connect more deeply with your audience. Developing these skills can open doors to new opportunities. Knowing when to use your voice, the proper tonality, the voice inflection, the clarity, they will help you with greater opportunities. They will strengthen relationships, and they will elevate your professional and personal interactions. So by incorporating these skills into your daily interactions, you can transform how you connect with others, ensuring your message is not just heard, but it's got to be felt. And remember, at Speaking Prowess, we're dedicated to helping you master these skills, turning your communication on, and the ability to use the greatest skill you have. That's communication. I want you to remember your journey. It may have started with challenges, but through perseverance and the right tools, you can turn your hardships into stepping stones for success. Your voice is powerful. Use it wisely and effectively. Achieving clarity, being able to articulate your thoughts clearly, helps avoid misunderstanding and ensures your message is understood as you intended it. Let's talk about influence and persuasion. Mastering the art of communication can enhance your ability to persuade and influence others, whether you're leading a team, negotiating a deal, simply trying to make a point. Those are important. So let's also now, I'm going to go kind of quick at this point. Conflict resolution. Proper communications on skills can help you diffuse conflicts if you do it correctly. If you think about it, sometimes when there's a conflict and you act too fast, you only added fire. You added a match to already a fire. You added more wood. You added more gasoline. But taking a pause and thinking will help you and guide you. So conflict resolution is also about stepping back and thinking about and being constructive with your dialogue, leading to solutions that are acceptable to all the parties involved. You see, in my journey, improving my communication skills transformed, I mean, every aspect of my life, from feeling alone and voiceless. I learned to express myself effectively and connect with the world around me. Remember, I live in my world, you live in your world. I got to tell you, but we live in this world together, and together we can make our worlds united. This journey of overcoming barriers and finding my voice has inspired me to start that communication school I've been talking about, so others can harness their powerful tool as well. Communication isn't just about talking, it's about connecting, influencing, and making an impact as we continue this season of challenges. Because every day is a challenge, no matter where you are in the world. But it's what you do with those challenges that are going to encourage you to move forward, so you can reflect on your own communication skills before you consider how you improve them and to help improve and enhance your communication with others. Both your professional and your personal life depend on the right communication skills. So by mastering the art of communication, you too can turn your obstacles into opportunities and achieve extraordinary success. Should you ever need assistance in navigating your communication endeavors, please feel free to contact me. I am passionate about helping others improve their communication skills because I know firsthand how powerful a tool it can be. Overcoming challenges and achieving success is something that we all need to do on a regular basis. So as an entrepreneur, I was going to say intrapreneur, but yeah, sometimes you have to internalize it first, right? So as an entrepreneur, and I know that Michelle Murda is coming on shortly, I want to talk to you about something that oh God, I am so in love with what's going on. I've incorporated the bank system and the benefits, the way we communicate with everyone we encounter. As an entrepreneur, I am incorporating it bank into all of my businesses because it allows for personalized, effective communication on strategies tailored to different personality types. This not only improves interactions, but also boosts business outcomes by fostering better relationships, negotiations, and collaborations. You see, for me, effective communication is not just about the words we say. It's about the tone of your voice, our body language, our hand gestures, our facial expressions. At Speaking Prowess, we teach you how to leverage these aspects to make your interactions more impactful through mastering these skills. You can improve your personal and professional relationships, enhance your leadership abilities, and leave a lasting impression on everyone you meet. Finally, I just want to close with this. My passion for communication led me to start hosting over the years. I have 6 podcasts, all aimed at guiding audiences to improve their lives. With the support of my co-hosts and guests, I have interviewed over 800 coaches and mentors. Their wealth of knowledge, I am blown away. And the insights they share with me and my listeners, wow. These shows provide a platform for meaningful conversations, inspiring stories, and practical advice that can transform lives. I am blessed to be able to be invited here. Marianne, I truly am so gifted by our friendship. Thank you.
Aw, thank you so much. You really didn't have to cut it short. I would have let you speak for an extra 10 minutes. We cut off
I
some of
can't.
your
Why don't
time.
we have some questions? Why don't we
I
talk?
don't see any questions because the audience is actually on Facebook, so I have to see
Oh,
it here to see if there are any questions or
okay.
comments.
I think Michelle Murda has a question for me. I think so.
Michelle? Michelle, do you have a question for him? I don't think she just came in, so
I
Michelle,
know.
come
I
on.
actually listened my whole way to every
Mm,
speaker on today's call. I maybe
Ooh.
missed a little bit because I lost service, but Sifu, you have such a powerful story and a heart of gold. Like
thank you.
I'm so grateful that I met you and I love everything that you're doing. And you're changing lives. And so my question for you is, what do you have going on that someone could, participate in? Do you have any upcoming podcasts that you're looking for guests or workshops or anything like that? That's my question.
Of course, everybody who is a coach or anybody who, for me, coaching has truly impacted me so much. And I'm going to tell you some of the best coaches I've ever had in my entire life were the ones that hurt me the most because they taught me lessons that I could never have learned otherwise. The ones that stabbed me over and over, man, thank you. God bless you for the lessons you have given me. Because when we only look at the beautiful people, the people who are well polished, are they? Are they?
No.
We all have flaws, but a lot of us we're afraid to tell people our flaws. And I'm working on my TEDx talk about forgiveness, because forgiveness is something that people say, but they don't do. It doesn't come from deep inside. I had a terrible upbringing. And you both, Marianne and Michelle, you both heard my story in Maryland, but you only heard a tiny little bit of it. I should be dead over and over. I have more lives than a cat. Okay. So, but those stories shaped who I am. They taught me how to communicate with me. That's why I'm so passionate about communication. That's why when you introduced me to bank, what was the first thing I said to you, Michelle? I was like, yeah, I know that already. But I didn't. I was full of baloney. I was so full of it. I knew nothing. And remember, I said to you, I have the cards. Oh, here they are. Right? I even shared them. I said, here are the cards. I got them. And you were like, yeah, right. And you said, wait. I even told you I thought the people who created were someone else. See, I was misguided. But man, my life changed that day, because I understood that we have the power to impact in such a profound way. And I had to sign up right away. I know you're going to talk about banking. I know I'm talking early, but I got to tell you, my passion grew that day. Meanwhile, I had heard of bank 18 months earlier, and not even a twinge was affected. But that day, boom, it truly changed the way I think. And I'm literally using bank in all of my businesses. So whether you're going to come on my podcast, you got to give me your code, kid. If you're going to come to my martial arts school, yes, I do have a 10,000 square foot facility. If you're going to come and take my classes, I want to know your code. Why? So I can help you better, so I can assist you, so I can give you the assistance and the guidance you need. If you're going to come to my communication school, guess what? I want to know how to help you. In 2 weeks, I'm having a 10-week course starting, and everyone coming is going to be wearing a name badge with their code. And the reason they're going to have their code, you like that, right? The reason they're going to have their code on their shirt or lapel or whatever they're wearing is because I want them to go, hey, you're like me. But then I also want them to share with each other. It's like, wait a minute, you're different than me. What makes you different? What makes you so the connections are going to be so impactful. I've already got a bunch of people signed up. It's a 10-week course on leadership and communication. And what better way to communicate than knowing each other's codes? So,
Perfect.
ta-da! That's what I'm doing.
Are you coming back to join us? Because we're just going to hear from Alka, and then we're talking bank. Are you going to stay, or are you going to come back?
I'll stay for now, but I have some private lessons. I got to go help some people up.
You got to go beat some people up? Nice.
Not really. I just, you know.
He's too nice. He's soft-hearted. He's not. He wouldn't even.